Crazy.
Everything okay in there, baby?
I'm just an average man with an average life.
Where the money at?
I'm an entrepreneur. I work in the spirit of the pimp game.
You know your girl gotta know what's going on in these streets. That's the car right there. Shit, they got an elevator in this bitch.
Slick, come on.
That make your spider senses tingle. What kind of shit is this?
Like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Don't let the back door hit you.
We gotta go.
I don't know what that was, but that wasn't me.
Somebody is conducting experiments on us.
It's in the fucking chicken.
This shit in everything.
Great train. Come the fuck on.
It's our homeland. We don't do nothing about it. Nobody will.
Don't let the back door hit you. Come on, boy.
Chill. Just fucking chill.
Shit!
Oh, this motherfucker did.
Okay, we ain't got no time for no negativity. Go give me some goddamn wet that something. Let's put my... You keep your pimp hand raised and be willing to protect the ones you love by any means necessary.
I ain't scared. I'm a dope boy, remember?
Excuse me, kind sir, but if you could point me to the elevator that leads down to the freaky laboratory,
Don't let the back door hit you.
I'll be out your atmosphere.
Let's get it, man.
We're on the scene trying to figure out what has happened.
I see this shit fucked up. They out here cloning this. What the fuck going on in this bitch?
That's right, that is the prevailing theory.
You know, some people was talking about I'm cloned. Well, check this out. Just kidding. Not cloned, man, but I'm here on Earth because of some great people. I'm here on Earth because of God, man. So I love all y'all. I just wanted to jump on here and let you know that I'm on my way back in love. And I'm not a clone. I'm not a clone. I know a lot of people were saying I was cloned out there. Boy, y'all ain't.
All-Star Weekend in Toronto. Steph Curry, he says, Kevin, come here. He lifts up his arm. The man had mechanical shit in his arm. Wires and shit. He's a robot. He's not real.
He's everywhere else, and now he's on SportsCenter. Kevin Hart, star of the new film Central Intelligence, joining us now. How do you do it? I look on Twitter, there you are. Yeah. Facebook, there you are. Television, there you are. How do you do it?
I have a clone.
I was going to say that. There's two of you.
Cat's out the bag. Okay? It's about a good 3 of me. We broke it. They didn't want to release it yet. This is major news that I'm giving you.
All right.
I'm the first person to ever use it. I'm cloned.
Okay. All right. I appreciate
That's why I'm able to do all that I do.
All right. Movie coming out this weekend. What was it like working with The Rock?
I have a clone.
I have a clone. I have a clone. I have a clone.
I was going to say that. There's two of you.
Cat's out the bag. Okay? It's about a good 3 of me. We broke it. They didn't want to release it yet. This is major news that I'm giving you.
All right.
I'm the first person to ever use it. I'm cloned.
I'm cloned. I'm cloned. I'm cloned.
Okay. All right. I appreciate
That's why I'm able to do all that I do.
lot of love and respect for each other, and professionalism.
Yeah.
You know, we love working with each other.
Yeah. You know, it's like when we hit the set on this movie, literally on the first day, you know, we're going and rushing around. And Martin just said, hey, man, he said, slow down a little bit. He said, we're going to enjoy this one. You know, and he sort of set that tone day one that we were going to come together and we were going to make sure we didn't miss the beauty of this opportunity we had to work together.
Yes, I agree.
So many of these classic franchises we see.
It started around around Illmind 5 when that came out, because the song was so big, and then they told me I had to like kind of sacrifice something. They said, you're gonna have to pay it back because you just put this information out there, and this is gonna put people in the wrong mindset of what we're trying to do in society. So they told me that if I don't do these list of things, then they're going to hurt my family or hurt, you know, people that I really care about. And they told me to go to this office. It was on Wilshire Boulevard in Los Angeles. And then when I went in, I asked them over the phone, what are they going to have me do? They said they couldn't tell me. And then when I went into the office, they sat me down, and it was like an all white room, and they opened one of the doors, and it had a Gucci suit. A Gucci bodysuit. And I said, oh no, please don't tell me that is what I think it is. They said, yeah, it's exactly what you think it is, pal. And I said, no, please no, not the Gucci suit. They said, it's the Gucci suit. This is the only way that you can repay for what you've done. And I said, not the Gucci suit, please. And they said, it's the Gucci suit. They said, we've ran some facial recognition programs on you, and you're going to need to be this man, and you're going to need to also contradict whatever you speak about so you can create a balance in this scene of hip hop that you're in, because you're the only one who can really pull it off. And I said, oh man. So yeah, they came out with this whole thing. Gucci Mane is actually, he's locked up somewhere.
Tommy Truthful here of truthmafia.com. Yes, what Hobson's talking about there, I believe he did play the role of Gucci. And Gucci probably is in a prison somewhere for not going along with the Illuminati's orders. You know, they don't take kindly to this. Now, there's many people that believe Jay-Z is playing the role of Little Durk. So some of these celebrities, they allegedly die on the world stage and are reborn under new characters. But then we have some of these celebrities that look like they've been alive for hundreds of years. Are they some type of immortal vampiric race? Or is it technology? Are they transferring consciousness from one host to another? Because we know they have med beds. They have technology that's far beyond anything we can grasp. But I lean a little more towards the vampiric race.
Being farmed.
What is that?
It has many names. Eugenics, resale, nectar.
Khalid came out of a bath.
Naturally, my sister didn't explain what it is or where it comes from.
That stuff made her young again.
It comes from people. Each unit is refined from approximately 100 human beings.
What?
Your planet is a farm.
You said you killed 100 people to make this?
Yes. Someone did.
In your world, people are used to fighting for resources. Like oil or minerals or land. But when you have access to the vastness of space, you realize there's only one resource worth fighting over. Even killing for. More time. Feel my skin.
That's from the movie Jupiter Ascending. So maybe there's some type of vampiric race, or their technology is allowing them to transfer consciousness from one host to another and live on as immortals. We already know the elites have these med beds that can heal them almost instantaneously. And they show these med beds in the movie Rebel Moon. If you watch Rebel Moon, you'll see the med beds in there, which is a form of predictive programming. Some more predictive programming is this video that went viral about the head transplants. It has over 24 million views. Now, this video was created by a film student, and the company BrainBridge is not even a real company. MIT just wrote a paper on it. Now, I just realized it today too, guys. And every major media outlet in the world was reporting on this story like it was real and it was a startup company. Now, in the occult, they have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it. So this is a form of predictive programming known as lesser magic. You can guarantee that they really do have technology like this. They're always 50 to 100 years ahead of us. And on the left-hand side of the screen you see there, every media outlet reported on it like it was real. So we got to be careful sometimes because they do that. So we'll report on it and then they can come out and fact check us and make us look like liars. When in fact, they were doing it because, like I said, they have to tell us what they're going to do before they do it.
Have you ever seen this video of the coroner's van that supposedly had Michael Jackson's body in it that didn't know it was being filmed? This guy thought he was going to capture them wheeling him out, and instead, he captured this. Now, I was very skeptical when I first saw this, so I had to do what I do, and I did my investigative work. 127602. Remember that number. So what I did is I went and I scoured the internet and I found actual news footage of a helicopter filming the body of Michael Jackson going into a coroner's van. And you'll never guess what I found. Let's take a look at that number. Do we remember? 127602. And just in case your memory is not good. Helicopter garage 127602. Now for me, this isn't enough to just automatically assume he's still alive, but when you keep digging, you'll see. This guy's name is Dave, and he's supposedly even a friend of Michael Jackson's. And have you ever heard him speak?
And there were all these Paul McCartney records all over this, The Girl Is Mine, and this and that. 13 solo albums, solo appearances on TV shows, and there were all these Paul McCartney records. But of course, you always feel things. I don't see Marlon next to me. I don't feel.
And is this next clip just them putting the truth right in plain sight?
I felt like he had Michael Jackson's spirit in him, because there were times that he even sounded like him talking, and it would just kind of blow my mind.
And you may not realize it, but he wasn't just the king of pop, but the master of disguise.
Michael Jackson was not just the king of music. Michael, who also had a talent for disguises, was also the king in this regard. The master of disguise.
Like I said, I'm just showing you some evidence. You make your own decision. But before you make your final one, why don't you listen to what the surrogate mother to Michael Jackson's children also had to say.
In that time, they've gone on some very unusual outings, often with Michael in disguise.
Going into surgeries. See, clones also can't gain weight. So basically what they did, they had to keep doctoring on the clone of Michael who was alive. The one that was dancing with Michael, or the dance with James Brown. Okay, that Michael Jackson, that wasn't the real Michael. When they cloned Michael, that clone Clones don't grow hair. So in other words, however they clone you, whatever you have, that's how you're going to come out. People around them to tell them what they do because they get adolescence. They can't think properly. It's called handlers. Right? So when Michael started to break down, his body was breaking down. His nose was artificial. I don't know if y'all noticed. Go back and Google Michael Jackson nose. It looks like a robot because it wasn't him.
It was an early morning yesterday. I was up before the dawn, and I really have enjoyed my stay, but I must be moving on. Like a king without a castle, like a queen without a throne. I'm an early morning lover, and I must be moving on. Now I believe in what you say is the undisputed truth, but I have to have things my own way to keep me in my youth. Like a ship without an anchor, like a slave without a chain. Just the thought of those sweet ladies as they shiver through my veins. And I will go on shining, shining like brand new. I'll never look behind me, my troubles will be few.
Claiming to be the former boxer's manager, invited a woman to an after-hours club in Houston over the weekend, and that is where the victim says the lookalike sexually assaulted her. Now, the lookalike even has a tattoo similar to the one Tyson has on his own face. The real Mike Tyson heard about the investigation and shared a photo taken with fellow celebrity Jenny McCarthy. It places him in Florida when the incident in Houston took place.
Some things need to be addressed, and this is one of them. We need to really talk about this, the cloning issue. Some of you all have no idea of what cloning is about. You can't comprehend or muster what I'm getting ready to tell you, okay?
In the wake of Kevin Hart's terrifying car crash back in September of 2019, TMZ reports that no one in the car that night has filed a lawsuit or been sued. On September 1st, Hart was a passenger in his 1970 Plymouth Barracuda when the driver of the car, Hart's friend and producer Jared Black, lost control and crashed through some wooden fencing. It was just before 1 a.m. in Malibu, California. The blue Barracuda crashed about 10 feet off the road and into a ditch, leaving both men with major back injuries and landing Hart in the operating room for spinal surgery. He recently opened up about the aftermath of that crash in an interview with Men's Health, explaining that his recovery process has led him to do better and prioritize his family even more, which his wife, Aniko Parrish, is happy about. She tells Men's Health, quote, "There were times where he was here, but not really here. Not to say he wasn't a family man before, but he's expressed that the accident made him make up for some of the time missed because of work." Meanwhile, Hart went on to add, "I'm not trying to get back to where I was before. I want to do better than before. It's a resurrection. That's the best way for me to put it. I feel like the other version of myself died in that moment, and this new version was born to understand and to do better. I'm glad this is coming now. I'm getting older. I'm 40. You know, this is when I'm supposed to start realizing this bleep." That was his quote.
Do you still not realize that they're all playing multiple roles? And I'm not just talking this guy. I'm talking all of them. Why don't we take a look at two supposedly different individuals in Benicio del Toro and Brad Pitt? They look kind of similar, right? Kind of real similar, even in their younger years. But that's all it is, right? Similarity. They just have similar features. They couldn't possibly be the same person, right? Well, let's take a closer look and see what we can find. Did you ever see when Benicio won an Oscar? Kind of runs like somebody I know. I don't know, there's just some similarities to it. Maybe it's just me. Although he does celebrate as he's being handed an Oscar. Oh, and did you see who just happened to hand him that Oscar? Brad Pitt's wife, and she just happens to be looking very adoringly at Benicio and seems pretty chummy with him for photos. But again, it's just coincidence. I'm making too much of this. Kind of like the coincidence of them sitting very identically and having the exact same mannerisms. And did you know they both just happen to be known for eating food a lot in their movie roles?
You handle food better on screen than anybody I've seen. And I want to...
But why would they do this, you're probably asking yourself. Why would they go through the trouble? I'll tell you. It's to give you the most skewed sense of reality possible. So you don't know left from right, and up from down, and round from flat, and you have to ask them and rely on them for all the answers, because then they have all the power. So the sooner you realize this is a reality and this is a reality, the sooner your mind is open to what reality actually is, and you can take your power back. This is for entertainment purposes, of course. I don't really think any of this is going on. But I do find it odd that every time he falls, there's a time he falls that looks an awful lot like it. Now, I did splice two different Jim Carrey rides together here, but the fall looks awfully similar.
Oh. There we go.
Pay attention to the hand timing in this video.
Oh. There we go.
My God, get a trauma unit in here.
Don't cry for me. I contain a...
Coincidence? Now I know I've shown this one quite a lot, but I'd just like you to watch it again and again and again. And just let that sink in. And let his spryness sink in. And let the colors sink in. Have a nice day. Oh, and these videos, they're starting to make some waves. I've seen some articles written about them. Let's share and push and like and get everyone we know to see them. And maybe we can get a Jim Carrey or Joe Biden to comment on it. Oh, entertainment purposes as always.
Dave Chappelle resurfaces and looks almost unrecognizable.
He kind of was something that I'd never seen before.
The comedian showed up to Game 7 of the NBA Finals and showed off his seriously jacked arms. It's quite the change from the super slim Dave we met in the early 2000s on The Chappelle Show.
It was terrible. Terrible.
But it seems like Dave's been building muscle for a while now. This pic is from November 2015, and this one from June 2014. Dave's arms were under wraps earlier this month when E.T. caught up with the comedian as he paid his respects to his friend, Muhammad Ali.
Can you give me the story behind this picture? You were 2 years old.
I mean, I was 2. I didn't know what was going on. I mean, I knew exactly who he was. I don't know how my mom arranged it, but that was the first time I met Muhammad Ali.
And you fell in love with him, right?
Oh, I loved him before that.
I know that Dave when Dave was visited, and that's up for him to tell that story. And that was my first real, like, what do you mean you were visited? And nobody talks about that. Everyone thinks he just ran away to Africa, and, the man was offered $50 million. With the Dave thing, I'd be a blatant liar if I were to say 100% that's him.
Okay. Perfect.
Because our communication ended
And when I say our communication, he stopped communicating with me when he came back. When I say came back, I'm not talking about from Africa, because the first thing he did was go on Oprah, which I find fascinating. And I highly suggest people really watch that interview intently. And I sobbed. I fucking sobbed. Because I hope it's him. But I will say, when he came back bigger, and I thought, all right, maybe he did steroids, maybe he worked out like crazy. I know he was very self-conscious being skinny his whole life, and our communication ended. Now, I had a bizarre FaceTime thing, which again I think is very sketch.
Fun. I'm glad you're here. Everybody wants to know, why'd you walk away from $50 million?
Well, I wasn't walking away from the money.
Yeah.
I was walking away from the circumstances that were coming with the newfound plateau.
Yeah.
It takes a while when you punch through to adjust to the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
It was completely outside of my frame of reference. I've been in show business since I was 14, and I've heard the stories of what happens, and I've seen these kinds of things play out in front of me.
Okay. When you say you heard the stories, what do you mean? What stories?
I mean, you see it before. Look, Mariah Carey made a $100 million deal, and 3 months later, she's all of a sudden mysteriously crazy. Or Martin Lawrence punches through, and he's waving a gun on the street screaming, "They're trying to kill me."
Yeah, we hear those stories.
And it always happens around the time in their career where it seems as though they're crossing over the next plateau.
Yeah. Would you say you lost your mind, sort of?
No.
No.
Not exactly.
Okay.
I wasn't crazy, but it's incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
And I felt like in a lot of instances, I was deliberately being put through stress because, when you're a guy that generates money, people have a vested interest in controlling it.
Yeah.
I think the one thing I'd like for you to take away from anything that I say today is this one point, that nothing in this world works the way you think it does. Nothing. The police aren't who you think they are. The sheriff is not who you think he is. Banks do not do what you think they do. Governments don't operate anywhere near the way you think they do. And that's why today, when you look at what's going on in the world today, none of it makes any sense. It's all crazy. It makes no sense at all. Seems very destructive. But actually, in point of fact, you don't know how the system works. It's working perfectly fine. The rich get richer and the poor get poorer. And the people, the masses, are entertained with television and alcohol and drugs, and the wealthy continue to get wealthy. And so it's working perfectly fine once you understand how the world really works. And nothing works the way you think it does.